Hey guys, what is up? It is Horse Quotation here, and today I am going to be doing the story about how I got Chance. Thank you for watching. So it all started about January of 2016 whenever I asked for a horse for my birthday. My birthday month is April, and so I asked early, of course, and I asked for a horse. And so, long story short, what happened was that I didn't think I was going to get a horse because I was very doubtful, but I started to question that because I saw my mom looking on Equine Now and equine.com. And so I was kind of sketchy about that, and then I went out to test ride a few horses, and one was Chance and one was another mare. But I ended up test riding Chance, and how that all happened was I went downstairs one day and I saw my mom on the couch, and I'm like, "Hey mom, what you doing, you know?" She's like, "Oh, what do you think about this horse?" So I was like, "Hey, you know, that's a pretty cute horse." And I'm like, "Okay, you know," and like, I think it was a few days or a week later, they're like, "Hey, do you remember this horse Boss Man?" That was his old name. I'm like, "Yeah, I do." They're like, "Well, the owners invited you out to go ride him. Do you want to go ride him?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." So, we went to ride him, and the owners were so nice. The previous owners, sorry, were very nice. And I know I just fell like head over heels with him whenever I very first saw him. And, so I absolutely loved him. And I got to test ride him, and I loved him. He was actually only a trail horse. Whenever I test ridden him, he didn't have any arena experience. He was just a sometimes trail horse. Didn't work every day or every week. He was just more of a now and then trail horse, walk trot trail horse. So he didn't have nearly as much training as any other horse you would imagine. But I kind of liked that because like I was like, you know, I kind of like training horses, especially if it means like I get to bring them along and train them myself, which means they would be prone to my commands and my training methods, which I would like. And so I know a while after I started, that day that I tested him, they were like, "How'd you like him?" I'm like, "I loved him." And I would always ask to go see Flex, the pony that we were releasing, and they were like, "Well, not today." But I would also ask to see if we could go visit Boss Man again, and they were like, "Yeah, you know, maybe." And then not till like mid-March did I know there was going to be a party at the barn, March 18th. And I was like, "Okay, you know, fun." We were actually just going to celebrate a horse's birthday out there, but it ended up being much more. And so one thing I thought was weird is everybody the day of and the day before was acting so strange. Like, they were just acting strange around me, and I was like, "Okay, this is weird." Either, you know, I did something which I don't know what I did wrong, or something's up. So, of course, the day of, everybody was acting even more strange. And my brother, who is not a horse person at all, whenever we went to go, he went in the car with us, and I was like, "Okay, we never force him to go to a regular barn day, so why are we forcing him to go to a horse's birthday party?" The even stranger thing was, he's never really energetic. He's always just kind of like, you know, casual. But to this time, he was kind of, you know, more energetic than normal, which I thought was especially strange because I'm like, okay, he doesn't like horses. Why is he acting energetic like this? And he knew I was getting Chance, but obviously he didn't tell me or couldn't tell me. And so we got to the barn, and my dad's out there, and he starts videotaping me. And I walk in, and my friends and my family and Chance are all there, and they say, "Surprise!" And I'm just so shook. I couldn't feel my legs, and I started crying, happiness, and, you know, they presented me with his papers. This is the certificate of partnership of me and Chance. It says Boss Man on there, but I later changed his name to Chance, and then they showed me, because of course, he had the banner that said happy birthday on him that looked like this. They presented me with that, and then they said, if you can't tell by now, he's yours. Here's his cell papers. And I'm gonna have to blur out a lot of the stuff I know for personal reasons, but let me see, yeah. So this is his papers that say his seller and buyer name, which my mom and me are his buyers. That pretty much just says we bought him, he's ours now. So this is his official selling papers, along with, I think this, yeah, this is just like his health papers, and then his previous owner's papers saying, you know, I'm selling him, they bought him, it's official, with the horse thing. And then, of course, his papers saying that we bought this horse and not another horse. So that is his selling papers, which they presented me with, which then I know, okay, he is 100% ours, not a lease, but my exact horse, because we have his sell papers, and I'm like, okay, this is for real. Like, is this actually happening? I was so shocked. And so that is his papers, and so then we start working with him, and we notice that he starts to buck, which isn't out of the mind because, once again, he didn't have much training, but so we thought it was his training. So we start working with him, but he still bucks. So then we were getting a little bit frustrated because we were like, okay, what's going on? So we get him on supplements, we get him on hoof stuff, we get him shoes, because maybe we're like, maybe his feet's hurting, maybe his, so we just get him on all these types of supplements and stuff, but he still bucks. And so we're like, okay, so we start working with him off ground, like Liberty, you know, still bucks, which is getting quite aggravating at this point. I'm getting scared, I'm losing my confidence because it's never fun to ride a horse that is gonna buck and you might get bucked off, because that's gonna be quite dangerous. And so I start getting really scared. I get nervous to even ride him or most any horse because I'm losing that much confidence. And you know, people are like, what's going on? You know, like everybody, which everybody is, like me and my family, are just wondering what is going on. And so we were thinking and trying to decide, okay, obviously I can't have a horse that I can't ride that's gonna buck me off, or that's gonna buck every time I try and ride it. So for a while we were thinking that we were gonna have to sell him because I can't have a horse that's gonna possibly really hurt me, obviously. And so we were thinking that we were gonna have to sell him, which I was so just sad about, because once again, he's my heart horse. He's my first ever official horse. And so, you know, we were sad, but then I was just like, I'm not ready to give up on him. I have to give him a chance. Take a chance on him, because that's his show name, Take a Chance. I have to take a chance on him, live up to his name, and we have to see if there's anything that we can do to help him. So they're like, okay, if you're dedicated enough to this, we'll be able to do something. So we get a vet out to check him, and sure enough, she does a lameness evaluation, and he has arthritis. So we have him on these medicines, this cream, for a really long time. And while he's on these medicines, we're still sure to work him, just walk, trot, you know, to keep his muscles moving, but nothing like cantering or jumping or anything. So it's not till maybe a month after he's on those medications, so a long time to make sure that it's in full effect. And we even get him like a Butte, which is like a really strong horse aspirin, before I ride him. And sure enough, whenever we ask him to canter and he's cantering, he bucks. So we're getting frustrated, we're getting really sad, we're losing hope, we're like, I don't know if there's anything we can do. So this was this fall, actually, and I was thinking, because they gave me options, they're like, here's your options. You can either, just because we can't afford to have a horse that we can't ride, that's just like a pasture pet. So they're like, here's your options. we can try something else like hawk injections, or you can sell them. And for a while I was thinking that I actually said we're probably gonna have to sell him because of his arthritis and how severe it was, because we didn't know how much these hawk injections were gonna be. So I was thinking that they were gonna be like really expensive, and we can't afford something like $2,000 a month for a horse that might, for like hawk injections that might not even get him over like, good sized jumps. So we couldn't afford that. So I was like, well, for now, let's just say that we're gonna have to sell him. And so we talked to the vet, and she's like, here's how much the hawk injections are gonna be. They're actually quite affordable. For us, they're way less than what we thought they were gonna be, like way less. And so she's like, no, you will not have to give them to him every month. It's gonna be more like a 6-month to a year term, depending on him and how well they work for him. So, it's definitely much affordable than what we thought it was gonna be. So I'm like, okay, let's do that. And so we haven't given him the hawk injections yet, because where I live, we board him at a barn where there's not a sand arena or an indoor. So if it rains or snows or anything along those lines, I can't ride. And the hawk injections take 2 to 3 weeks for full effect. So we are actually waiting for where there's going to be really good weather, which is going to probably be this month, next month, to give him the injections. So there's good weather whenever I can ride him. So that is our story. It was quite a long story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will keep you up to date on how Chance is, which right now he's doing perfectly fine. And I will keep you guys up to date on when his injections are, how he is. So thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.